Welcome back to another episode of North to Prem. In this episode, we are going to be doing our National League North playoffs. We've got a first round fixture against South Shields. Like I mentioned in the last episode, if we were to win that game, we would play Buxton, and then the winner of that would play the winner of Chester, Scunthorpe, and Southport. Yeah, so it's three teams on either side of the bracket. We are obviously at home to South Shields as we finish just above them in the league. Scunthorpe will be at home to Southport. So we do have obviously an extra game to play over Buxton and Chester, so they would be probably considered the favourites. But we do have previous good results against Buxton. We did just beat them 5-1 in the league. The last time we played South Shields, remember, when was the last time we played South Shields? Let's take a look. I think it's been some time. So we did it. The last game was actually in a 2-1 away loss. And then earlier in the season will have been probably before my time. Am I only seeing the one game? Am I being blind here? Play them more recently? All right, let's just look at past meetings. That'll be easier. So we did. Okay, so we've. Oh no! So we've lost both of our games. Yeah, so it was on the 23rd of September. So that must have been before my time. There it is. It's in between these games. Yeah, so it was just before we joined. So we haven't actually beaten them this season. Now, obviously, one of those games was not under my management and it was away from home. So I'm a little bit nervous now thinking about that, but we'll put it out of our mind. We'll try and ignore it as we get ready for our first game of the episode to South Shields. The board are very happy. We're 4 years ahead of schedule, as you'd expect. Our aim was only to avoid relegation, and we've managed to do that in spectacular fashion, getting into the playoffs. So we'll come back for our first game, and hopefully of three, and hopefully we can get to the final and win and get promoted. Wouldn't that be lovely? So for our first of potentially and hopefully three games of the episode, we are at home to South Shield. I forgot I actually rotated the squad the last game of the season. I'm going to say it'll be the exact team that won, but it won't be actually. We'll go back to what was working. Do we play? Oh, see, this is where we look at the recent form. Hines was really good in the last couple of games, really coming into form. Do we play him or do we go with Felix, who's been probably more consistent? Felix has got 14 and 39. Hines has got 11 and 19. I mean, he's probably better, hasn't he? Oh, big call. Big call. You know what? We'll stick with what's been working. The dynamics are looking good. What do the dynamics look like if we do play Hines? Okay, so it's not really any different because Felix has been out with an injury. Hines has shown better, a lot better in that position. Oh, I don't know. You know what? We'll go with the head. He's in good form. Yeah, we'll play Hines. We'll play Hines for the game against South Shields. We'll save it just in case. Well, not really just in case the game crashes, I guess. But we really didn't progress too much anyway. Ooh, big game. So we do play South Shields at home. This will be our first victory over them if we can win. This game only comes 3 days after the last game of the season, by the way. So you really do not get a lot of time to play the game. But our squad remains pretty similar. Craven in goal, Wyatt, Johnson, Fox, and Ahui back line. Shalna, I'll have to do it from memory. Shalna and Ibrahim in midfield, and then a top four of Hines on the right, McCammon in the middle, Mooney on the left, who's been sensational since signing, and Chukwuemeka, who's been a regular goal scorer. Come on, the boys. We're at home. We don't have a league table because we're not in the league anymore. We're in the playoffs. Scunthorpe did actually win their other game. Did actually win their playoff game against Southport. So winner of that Scunthorpe will play Chester in the next round in the semi-final. But we don't need to be worried about that. We need to be worried about this game as Chukwuemeka plays it into McCammon, and Josh McCammon puts us one goal ahead. A massive goal. Peterborough Sports 1, South Shields 0, and that is exactly the start we want to see. McCammon leathers it in. South Shields do have a free kick. They've knocked it in. Sanders there. It's kind of just falling around and we don't really deal with it. And Dylan Stevenson puts it in for his 21st goal of the season. And we really should have dealt with it. The lead did not last long. And this could be one of those really exciting games back and forth. But unfortunately, we just haven't dealt with it at all there, which is really disappointing. But we do play it up to Chukwuemeka, but it gets just headed back as Ibrahim looks for the option. But it's actually a Hui down the right-hand side. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but it doesn't really matter as Chukwuemeka's effort goes well over the bar, and it does remain 1-1. I mean, to go ahead and then just go straight back to level is really disappointing. But we'll keep our heads. Let's not go crazy, and let's just play our game. That's how we've been doing all season. As Ahui picks the ball up from Chukwuemeka, he has an effort. I mean, I don't know what goalkeeper was doing there. I don't know if it's just the sun on the screen, but I didn't really see that. I didn't catch that properly. I thought it was just a weak effort, but it did actually go out. And that time, Chukwuemeka's header gets tipped on the post, I think it was, from the goalkeeper. We are knocking on the door, but South Shields have got a plenty of goal scorers in their team. And there's another one, Sam Collins. Oh no, are we going to go out on the first game? That would be so anticlimactic after all the big build up and all the big playoff push we've had. It's South Shields 2, Peterborough Sports 1, and after the great start of going ahead a goal in the 8th minute, we are actually currently behind, and we do look the worst team. We aren't playing as well. I mean, it's probably a bit even. We are looking very leaky at the back, and is this Hines? Is Felix better defensively? I'd really doubt it's that because it's mostly coming down from the other side. So we need to get back into it though. And Ahui is going to be the man to try and be creative. He knocks it in. I think the goalkeeper was probably beat there, but Broadbent manages to clear it. But Fox is looking for an option. He finds Ibrahim, who honestly has been probably a little bit disappointing. He's really not much of a creator. Shalna plays it through, and we're just kind of knocking the ball here. But there, as I say that, he does play a lovely ball forward, and it is, again, a Hui down the right-hand side. He plays it into Hines, who we did bring on for this game, as Ibrahim looks for the shot, but unfortunately it's well over the bar, and that was probably not the right move. 2-1 down at half time. I mean, I don't think it's time we bring Felix on. I think Hines has done pretty well. Well, actually 6.5. He hasn't done too well. Dan Mooney's on a 6.3, but we know he's quality. We know his quality. We know he can get a goal. But it is a South Shields free kick, and we do need to deal with it. As he goes for an overhead kick, a really ambitious one in such a big game, but thankfully it's really way off target. And we do have another highlight straight from the goal kick after that free kick as Shalna plays it up to Chukwuemeka. He's knocked it on to Dan Mooney. Dan Mooney's racing through, and Dan Mooney scores. It's 2-2. What a finish. We keep saying this about Dan Mooney. He's on a poor rating. He's not doing well, but he's always got a goal in him. He is absolutely lethal. When he does get his chance, he will take it. And Chukwuemeka getting his second assist of the game there. Not really what you'd expect from your striker, from your big number 9, but he's doing the business. I mean, he's actually number 16 for us. Mooney's our number 9, but he deserves it because he scores all the goals. And that time he tries to turn provider for Chukwuemeka, but his cornered header, the header from the corner does go wide, and it remains 2-2. And I'm unsure actually on the playoffs. I think it goes to extra time if you remain level, even in these early rounds. I think it goes to extra time. I could be wrong. I know the final definitely goes to extra time. I've seen it firsthand, but well, actually, that was in the National League. I don't know. I assume National League North and South are the same, but we won't worry about that. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it, as we do probably want to just grab our winner in the 90th minute. The thing is, though, the games are so close together. We really will have to rest players for the next round if we do get it. And I don't mean rotating, I mean not training, which isn't always the best. But Chukwuemeka finds a Hui, who has been absolutely key for us. And he plays it through. Caleb Chukwuemeka gets his 25th goal of the season on the 70th minute. It's Peterborough Sports 3, South Shields 2. We've turned the game around. We've got level. We've got in front. And it is at the moment going to be Peterborough Sports progressing to the next round of the playoffs. We are not out. We are currently going through. And I think it's time now to bring Kane Felix on the right-hand side. We won't make any other substitutions. The team is playing well. We'll bring Felix on just for that little bit of energy. We really don't want to see any highlights, but Fox will just leather it up. I don't know why he's just wasting time. We really should be trying to control the possession, but South Shields do the same, pretty much just leather it up, and that will allow us to catch the loose ball there. As Mooney, who's had an excellent game, always a big moment goal scorer, and we are playing some good stuff now. Ben Wyatt looking for the pass through, plays it through to Mooney, who plays it through to, I think that must have been McCammon, but his effort does go wide of the mark. And not long remaining now. Can we see it out? Can we get ourselves in the next round of the playoffs? No more highlights, please, footy manager. Just get us to the end. And we have got to the end, full time. Peterborough Sports 3, South Shields 2. South Shields are out of the playoffs. We advance to the next round, and that was not an easy game, but it was our first win over South Shields this year. What a result, what a turnaround from going ahead to going behind. What a game. We have won that. We will play Buxton in the next game. And like I say, we've had good results against Buxton. We did beat them 2-1 away very early. I think that was our first victory as Peterborough sports manager. It wasn't. It was just Southport was our first victory, but it was our second game, our first away game as Peterborough sports manager in the league. So a lot of preamble there. But recently, very recently, we did beat them 5-1. So realistically, you'd think we would be pretty happy for that. But we will rest the players because it comes only 3 days after. But yeah, what a game from Chukwuemeka and Dan Mooney. I think we stick with that team going into this semi-final fixture. So it's going to be us versus Buxton in the semi-finals, and it's going to be Chester versus Scunthorpe in the other game. We'll come back for that semi-final. So for our playoff semi-final fixture, we are going with the exact same 11 that just beat South Shields 3-2. Buxton are no mugs. We have beaten them in both of the games this season, but they are definitely not a easy team by any means. And now that the games really matter in the playoff semi-final, they could easily step up. Obviously, they have had a little bit of a rest compared to us. They probably had about a week off. We are coming into it just 3 days after our massive game against South Shield. So we'll fire the players up. I mean, they've kind of coming into this in a little bit of odd form. They've won a few, they've drew a few, they have lost one. Whereas I think ourselves, we come into it in fantastic form. We've won the last 5 games, so we are definitely probably. I mean, Buxton are probably the favourites on league table, but in terms of form and past results, we are absolutely the favourites. And I think squad-wise, it's probably pretty even as we look for an early goal there, and we will get potentially an early goal in the 18th minute. Chukwuemeka is absolutely hacked down the Buxton defender, not keeping his head at all for a massive game. And Chukwuemeka has a penalty. He leathers it bottom left-hand corner, very well placed, lots of power. What you want to see from your penalty taker, Caleb Chukwuemeka. He is really coming into his own in these this last little third of the season. He's kind of been in and around the team. Obviously, he's had a couple injuries that's left him out of the team at times, but he has been a little bit hit and miss sometimes with his form. But as of late, he's really turned up. I think he's really settling in to play with these the players that we've got. And we do go 1-0 up, and we have got 1 foot in the National League playoff final. But we saw in the last game, going a goal ahead definitely doesn't mean everything, as Buxton do look to get themselves back in there. But we do manage to carry it out, and it's going to be Hines who looks for Ben Chalner. He tries to switch the ball to Mooney, but it's intercepted by the Buxton defender, and they are going to try and counter-attack here. Is Romello Mitchell, who is definitely did score against us in one of the games earlier. I think it must have been the first game that we played against him, and I know he's some player to have at this level. I think he's actually there in real life as well. But thankfully that effort was saved, and just about saved again from Craven. Would Robertson have saved that? Probably not. I think we've done the right thing getting Robertson out of the squad and getting Craven in. I think he's been a big part of our late playoff push that we've managed. And obviously we've not really, I think this is the first time we've been in the playoffs, was only with about 3 or 4 games to go, so we don't have a lot of it. As Chukwuemeka bursts through in that time, probably should do a lot better. It's a really good chance. Should really probably be at least getting it on target, so that's really a disappointing chance. And we definitely don't want to leave anything to chance. We definitely don't want to, if we can go a couple goals ahead, we should be taking those chances. We shouldn't be leaving it. And I mean, that's really poor from both sides there. I don't know what he's trying to head there, but he's absolutely nowhere near the ball. But we've won it back in a good position as Dan Mooney tries to play it through. And this is just really, oh my God, that is the epitome of National League North football. That was so bad. The ball was just ping-ponging around. And then they've given another penalty away in pretty much the same spot. Chukwuemeka goes the same way. The keeper reads his mind. And it remains 1-0. We had a great chance there to go 2-0 up, but unfortunately Chukwuemeka's gone the exact same way, and the goalkeepers expected that. As Hines picks up the ball, Ibrahim picks up the ball, looking for an option. He finds Chalner. I think nothing's going to come of this. No, I thought we were going to get a ball into a good area there with a Hui, but apparently nothing came of it. But this has been all highlights, just like the South Shield game. It has been a very exciting game, as the goalkeeper there will just come out and collect it. And this could potentially be a highlight in favour of Buxton, as they do play the ball long. But it's well dealt with, and it could potentially be, it might have swung the other way. It might be our highlight. Hines looking for an option now. Plays it out wide to Mooney. He's knocked it very nicely into Chukwuemeka, who does convert. I think he just about stayed onside there. He's looked at his line, and he's stayed onside. So I mean, Chukwuemeka won an up and down game. He's got 2 goals, but he's also missed a pen and missed a bit of a sitter as well. So he could have easily had 4 in 20 minutes. But we do go 2-0 up, and this could potentially be another 5-0 thrashing. Oh, well, 5-1 thrashing, I guess it was. And that would give us a lot of confidence and a lot. I mean, we are full of confidence. We have won all of our last 5 games, and I don't know if it extends beyond that. But we are in great form, and this is exactly what I was saying. If you're going to come in the playoffs, you want to come into it in good form. It's going to make a huge difference because pretty much everyone else in the playoffs has probably been playing well as well. Whereas obviously in the league games, you can play someone near the top end of the table who might be actually in a bit of a tough spot. But if they're in the playoffs, they've probably done well enough. But sometimes you can just play someone who were kind of like Buxton, probably someone who were actually favourites to kind of win the league earlier in the season. Not maybe favourites, but were looking like they could win the league earlier in the season, but have dropped off a little bit near the end of the season. That does carry into the playoffs. I definitely think it's better to be a team that's kind of mid-table and has done some really good form to get into the playoffs than it is to be a team near the top and actually kind of faltered a little bit and just got playoffs rather than challenging for the league as Craven comes out, collects it comfortably. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with this game now as we're just playing it nicely out there. Ibrahim picks up the ball. What is that? I don't know what he's doing. He's heard me. He's got complacent as well. But thankfully, Buxton don't make anything of their chance. But I mean, overall, I am very happy with the way we've been playing here. We definitely should be more than 2 goals up, but I'll definitely take the 2-0 win going in the half. But if we can make it 3, that'll be even better. But it does look like it's going to be Buxton potentially on the counter attack. There's Jamilo. I don't even know how to say that. Di Girolamo, Girolamo. I think it's Girolamo. Does chip the keeper and make it 2-1. And just as I was saying, I was feeling comfortable. I was getting complacent. The players weren't. I was. And it does make it a little bit interesting going into the second half. But we do still lead. I still think we're going to win the game, but we definitely don't want to. I'm going to tell it's unacceptable, even though we've played really well. But we don't want to sit off at all. Ben White is currently on a yellow card, but that doesn't concern me too much. But we do need to make sure that we don't really get this back even because we don't want the momentum to swing into Buxton's favour. 30 minutes to go, it is still 2-1. I mean, if we could have a quiet second half, that would absolutely do me. 25 minutes now, the clock's running down, and we haven't had a highlight at all this half. I'm not going to make any changes. I'm thinking about bringing Felix on. Hines is playing well. He's getting a little bit tired. But we don't want to make changes. As Mooney swings one in there, Hui gets up for it, but it is well cleared. From Buxton, Ibrahim picks up the loose ball. He plays it backwards to Wyatt. And I've noticed that a lot with Ibrahim. He does play a lot of backwards balls. He isn't necessarily perhaps the playmaker I think he is. And hopefully Joe Knight can be an improvement in that position. But Hui tries an effort, tries to make himself a bit of a hero there. But unfortunately, it's gone wide. And it is going to be another highlight from the goal kick as Buxton look to get level, but we do win the ball back, Ibrahim. But Mooney just giving the ball away, and he's just tired as Thomas goes through, and Luca Thomas. I don't know where they're getting all these interesting names from. Very much an Italian side here at Buxton, but he does make it 2-2, and now we've got a decision to make because we were 2-0 up, and all of a sudden it's turned. It's 2-2. I think we'll bring Kane Felix on. Mooney's got a goal in him. He hasn't scored yet. We always know Mooney's got a goal in him, even if he's tired, even if he's not playing as well. He's got a goal in him. McCammon's got a goal in him. Do we bring Tootle on at right back? He's not playing very well. He's getting tired. I'm bringing Tootle on. I am bringing Tootle on just in case it goes to extra time. It would be good to have an experienced head on the pitch. He's like 33. To be honest, his rating's not very good, but he does seem to play okay every time he comes on. But we, unfortunately, looking like it is going to go extra time, and I was really disappointed because we were doing so well, and Buxton really are the ones that probably fancy themselves in this extra time. So if we can get an early goal and kind of ruin their spirit, that would be good. As Felix looks to be the one to get it, but it's just a really, really tame effort. And I mean, I look back, we've had the penalty, we had the one-on-one with Chukwuemeka we should have scored. We should have walked out of this game going into the final, but it's going to be interesting. We are just getting a little bit tired now. We have made only 2 substitutions. We probably should have made all 3. But we will bring Hayes Green on at the back just because we can. We can actually make another substitution. We'll bring Gizcombe on for McCammon. Sorry, he is just getting tired. And Be a perfect time for him to make himself a hero because he hasn't been the best lone player, despite the fact that he looks really good. But Buxton will also be fancying themselves to get the winner here, and we really need to deal with this as we have made a centre back substitution. I never like doing that. And it is knocked around, and Ackroyd. Oh, Wilbur Paga's scored. It's Buxton 3, Peterborough Sports 2, and this could be the end of our playoff run. We could be staying in the National League North for another season. We do have another highlight, but it looks like it's going to be Buxton. No! Oh, Luca Thomas scores. Oh, it's offside. Thank God it is offside. It remains 3-2, but we still need to get back in this. We still need to get back in this. We'll berate the players. We can't do anything. We've got no more subs. We don't want to go very attacking. We don't want to leave ourselves open because it is only the one goal, but we need to get back in this. We need to get an equaliser. We need to at least take it to penalties. Otherwise, we're crashing out of the playoffs. And I mean, these have been some very exciting playoffs, but if we remain in National League North, that'll be really disappointing. But we do need to, I mean, obviously we've done so well to get into this position considering where we started. And I would fancy us to mount a league challenge next season if we were to stay in this division. But I would love for us to go up this time and get the early promotion. As Felix will pick up the ball there. Can we please get the equaliser? Ibrahim! Oh my God! Olamide Ibrahim has barely scored all season. And he's just absolutely leathered it. Top bins from a mile out. And it is 3-3, and as it stands, it will go to penalties, but there is going to be a highlight. Go and grab the winner. Come on, lads, let's go and grab the winner. Ibrahim, can he do it again? Connor Johnson. No, it's a loose ball. It's going to be a Buxton. It's going to be Buxton to break through. But Paga, oh, he scored. It's 4-3, and I think that's all she wrote. We'll go very attacking, but I think that's everything. It's a late highlight, but it's down our end. We don't want to see it. We do not want to see it. Kirby shoots, hits the post. Can we get on the end of it? It's just going to be a Buxton highlight, isn't it? It's not going to be anything for us. And it's full time, and we've gone out in extra time. Buxton 4, Peterborough Sports 3. And just as I was getting excited that Ibrahim had scored an absolute worldie to get us back in the game, Buxton go down the other end in the 119th minute and score a winner. A shocker from Craven. Hayes Green and Johnson, terrible. Hines, terrible. Ahui, bad. McCammon, bad. Felix, bad. Oh, not a good game at all. We were so comfortable. It was 2-0. We had a penalty. We should have made it 3-0. We had a 1-on-1. We should have made it 4-0. We'd have been well clear. But somehow we've messed it up. And I got complacent, and this is going to teach me a lesson. Never get complacent in Football Manager because we got complacent. I said we'd probably win the game, and Buxton just turned the switch and came right back. Oh, that's so disappointing. We've lost. We are out of the playoffs. That means we will be staying in National League North. Buxton are going to go to the final to play Chester. One of those two will be going into the National League next year. And I'm so disappointed. I mean, we've done really well. We've done really well to get into the playoffs. Like, make no mistake. And it is the top two teams, as you would expect with this setup. And Girolamo, I mean, he's got his top goal scorer in the league. He's got 31 and 45. I mean, he's absolutely levered it in. I mean, they've got the two top goal scorers. Chukwuemeka did actually manage to break it in the top three, which is good. We do have him till next season, so... Oh, that's so disappointing. But that is going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, I guess we'll do a sort of an end of season wrap up, and then sort of a transfer special into the new season. So, oh, what a way to end it! Those were two really exciting games: a 3-2 win and a 4-3 loss in extra time. But unfortunately, it's not going to be us who gets the exciting final. It is going to remain. We are going to remain in National League North. But I mean, we've got a bit of a rebuild on our hands because whilst we do have a lot of good players tied down, very much our back line is all out of contract, so we'll have to do something there. But we will do that in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a very exciting episode here at North to Prem, and I'll see you all for the start of Season 2 very soon.